Okay. Let's see if I can roll through this without too many errors. I'm going to show you one of the problems I'm dealing with. I've remoted into my system. This is our production system. And what you're looking at on the right here is a 1080p output, which goes to our stream, and it also goes to the lobby or any TV around the campus. So we've got a screen that we call 1080p, and if I show you my screens here, you'll see that we've got a main, which is our 3600 by 1080, and there's a little bit of a bug, but we leave that alone because it seems to work despite the fact that that's a problem. We have our key fill, and that's being sent out of the decklink quad into our ATEM switcher. And we've got our 1080p output, which is being sent out of the decklink quad into a smart switch hub, which allows us to route it wherever we want. And it's routed two places. The first place it's routed is to a distributor that sends the video to all the TVs in the building. And the second place it's sent to is to a decklink Duo 2 in another computer, which is running OBS. And that is then sending out the stream. And so what we have here is, let me clear the slide and I'll clear the video. So our 1080p stream has nothing coming out of it. And this is our look right here. Let's go to screens looks, and I'll show you. We've got our main, our key fill, and our 1080p. Now, the look we were just looking at is announcements A2.2. Which basically has everything going to the main, props and slides and media. We don't use the announcements layer at all because we have mismatched screen ratios, and using the announcements layer causes problems with that. I haven't figured out how to get around it because you cannot apply a theme to the announcements layer, which is unfortunate. If the theme was here, then that would solve that problem. But as it stands, we can't do that. So here's what I've got. So on the announcements, let's say A2.1, we have the props, we've got the slides, and we've got the media going out to the main screen. That's our big wide screen. We've got our key and fill, which is going out only the slide information, and that's going to the ATEM switcher, and it's regulated by the theme that we've attached to this look. So A2.1 has a corresponding theme called Announcements A2.1, and that helps us keep track of the two formats. And then we have our 1080p, and all that is the video input. And the video input, which I'll show you here, is defined as, where are we at here, inputs. Video input, we have the ATEM program output. This is coming from the ATEM switcher, and it's going back into the decklink quad. And so we have a way to deliver what's being sent out to the program back through the system, and we can display that in ProPresenter, and that gets routed to the lobby and the stream. And so I'll show you here. If we go to, well, let's pick a slide. Let's see what happens here. We are on which look? We are on A2.1, and I'm going to click on this slide, and it should switch the look. So it's going to load the video. So you can see here it's got input 1 ATEM program. So it's bringing in the entire program, and that way we're not actually using, we're not overlaying the key and fill with ProPresenter directly to this output. We're overlaying this to the program output. Or we're overlaying the key and fill to the ATEM switcher. The ATEM switcher is then delivering the entire image back to ProPresenter. And so when we click on, let's say, well, this one right here, we've got a background graphic, which you can see on the main screen in the sanctuary. And you can see that it's not being displayed on the key and fill output. And if we look at the screens, we can see that we are on live announcements A1. So if we switch to this right here, we get a different look. So on our main screen, this is what we see. We see a nice big wide screen graphic, and there's a blend in the middle. We have two projectors. And so it comes up, and this is, in the past, this used to be one big graphic as a background. Now, the only part that's a background are these hearts and the blue. And then we have text, which is social distancing. Kindly remember to keep 6 feet apart. Now, if we look at this slide, you can see that there are two layers of text here, Title 1 and Subtitle 1. And then the graphic in the background is, where is that at? It's 02.jpg. Now that's 02 is we name them like that because we can update this graphic in the background without having to actually change it in ProPresenter, and it'll pick up the new information if we ever change it. And so, okay, so here we've got this piece of text. I've locked them because I don't want them to move. The Title 1 and Subtitle 1, and they're named, appropriately. And so, when we, in order to create that, I've created a template, a theme. They've changed it. It's a theme. And we've created an announcement theme that's called A2.1, and I think that's the one we're on. If I look at the looks, yeah, A2.1. So this theme, announcements, A2.1, contains what you see here. So we could recreate this with different letters, a different saying. And it only has two text boxes on it at all. And then we make a corresponding key fill announcements layer or theme called A2.1. So if I go into A2.1 on this particular theme, you can see where what you saw was coming from. So once again, if I click on this and we look at our 1080p feed, that's where that comes from. So this look is choosing A2.1 is the look, and A2.1 shows this theme for the key and fill. And then if we go to, all right, so let me go back to key and fill, edit. You can see that these are linked text boxes, and I've linked based on the title or based on the layer name in the main theme. So in the main theme, like I showed you before, in this theme right here, those two boxes are named Title 1 and Subtitle 1. So we make a link to those in the secondary theme, and we call that Title 1, and this one is Subtitle 1. And it works just fine. Our little timer here is also linked to our first server's countdown timer. Okay, so now here's where I'm running into a problem. This works. When I click it, it looks exactly the way I wanted it to look. Now, this one, this next slide, has the media action behavior, let's see, convert minutes, edit action audience look. The audience look is A2.2. Now, if we go to the screen look of A2.2, and we look at which template is being chosen for key and fill, it's the announcements A2.2. So let's go in and take a look and see what that looks like. It has here we go. It has A2.2. It has 1, 2, 3. Now these aren't where I want them because I'm troubleshooting this right now. So I've got this first one, which is Subtitle 1, the second box, which is Title 1, and the third box, which is Subtitle 2. Now, if I go back to my main themes here on announcements, and I look at A2.2, let's edit this and go to A2.2, I have exactly those things. Subtitle 1, Title 1, and Subtitle 2. Now, and I didn't lock those. I should lock those because I don't want them to move. So now, if I click on this slide, it should switch the look and load that theme for both the main screen, which is this, and for the program feed. So let's go to the main screen and I'll click on this and we'll see what happens. It looks just the way I want it to look. Exactly the way I want it to look. If I switch to 1080p, I've got a problem here. I'm missing something, right? So I've got wear a mask and thank you for keeping your community safe. But where's the please? I can't find that anywhere. And so if we go back again and we look at key fill announcements and I edit this particular, it's this announcement, this should be showing up as subtitle 1. And it corresponds to this slide where subtitle 1 is please, subtitle 1, right? And in the key and fill announcements, representation of that same data, I'm scaling the text up or down to fit the container, and it should be showing up. But I can't figure out why it's not. And I've moved things around, I've reconnected things, I've deleted things. I've even gone as far as like closing the app and opening it up again. I just cannot figure it out. If somebody knows why it's doing this, it would be awesome to help me figure this out, because I got the first one to work. I can't get the second one to work. Here's another one. This is a different look, and this brings up exactly what I want. See the announcement section of the bulletin. That's exactly what I want it to see, to show up on the stream as the lower thirds. This one shows up exactly the way I want it, and this one does not. I'm missing. Aside from the problems that I'm having, if you are interested in figuring this process out and how I've done this, throw me a line. I'd be happy to help you out. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch.